This morning we are here at the Ministry of Communication and Works, where the minister responsible for the ICT initiatives on Montserrat will be making a presentation to the Royal Montserrat Police Service, and we'll have the Honourable Minister coming to speak about it, following by the airport manager, Mr. Joseph Irish, and then the police will come for the presentation and give brief remarks. Honourable Minister, Paul Lewis.
We're here for a very important piece of item, delivering a very important piece of item to the Royal Montserrat Police Force. Let me just say that as a reminder to those who may not remember that the Ministry of Communication Works, Labour and Energy is responsible for implementing the National ICT Policy Strategy and Implementation Plan. And also we serve as a central point of the government of Montserrat, where we accept the submissions of the various ministries and departments across the government in terms of their ICT solutions and requirements. The police in their last submission did submit a project captured under the title Surveillance, National Surveillance. And you know that that could be a wide field in terms of the different modes of surveillance that is being used or could be used. Of course, we think about surveillance when we see the CCTV cameras, but let's not forget that technology improve and evolve on a daily basis, or should I say minute by minute. As I speak, technology is evolving. And therefore, what we consider as, for some, as a leisurely activity or a leisure activity in terms of the flying of drones is actually a critical piece or useful piece of equipment for surveillance, especially in the hands of authorities such as the Royal Montserrat Police Force. So today it's my pleasure to announce to the Royal Montserrat Police Force that we were in a position and to at least address a portion or partially their submission. And of course, you know, I like to do things in stages or phases if you're not able to do all at once. So today we will be delivering. I'll ask the commissioner to step forward, come a little closer to the mic and a little closer to this ICT tool. Don't be afraid of it, Commissioner. I don't know who will be a pilot or pilots, but of course, I'm sure that you're capable of selecting persons with the necessary skill set. So what we want to do today is basically pass this over. So if yes, just to finish what I conclude what I was saying is that whereas we are mindful that these special ICT tools are required for useful purpose for the protection of the nationals of Montserrat and for the greater good of our island, we are also mindful that we must put in place legislation and regulations that will regulate the use of these items. And of course, we are in the process of doing that. And during the course of 2018, we should see the consultants on board, and then we will have the input from the population, including the police themselves, as to the level of content that we should have in these regulations and laws to ensure that we are covering surveillance and all of that in whatever form or fashion. But having said that, we are also the ministry responsible for the aerodrome, and we want to ensure safety to the public. So we would not be encouraging careless or, you know, what people would say, frivolous use of drones. And therefore, what we are mindful of doing, given that we are passing over this key piece of equipment to the police, we are also making sure that even the police are guided by rules and regulations and guidelines. So we have here today with us I think he's now the manager of the airport. I'm getting accustomed to that new position. So we have Mr. Joseph Irish, who is going to present guidelines in terms of the use of the drone, heights, etc. And of course, he would present the demarcation of the area that is considered no-fly zone.
I'm happy to be part of this auspicious occasion where I see that police will be able to improve their surveillance. But what I must say that there's always rules and guidelines that we need to follow. I have in front of me ASI's information leaflet number 5, which gives guidelines and rules that we need to follow when operating small unmanned surveillance aircraft, or drones as they may call. The present aircraft that I see in front of me, I am sure that seeing that it's a surveillance aircraft, it should be equipped with cameras and videos. So a person who is in charge of these have a legal responsibility to ensure that it is operated safely and must not recklessly or negligently cause or permit the aircraft to endanger any person or property. They should maintain direct and unaided visual contact with the aircraft. They should not cause or permit any article to be dropped from the aircraft so as to endanger persons or property. Okay, these aircraft should not be flown over or within 150 meters of any congested area. And you know, they're talking about areas where plenty people are, like your festival, those type of things. We're congregated. Or over or within 150 meters of an organized open air assembly or of more than 1,000 persons. Within 50 meters of any vessel, vehicle, or structure. Within 50 meters of any persons, 30 meters for takeoff and landing, unless the person is the one in charge of the drone. Okay, in addition, what I must add to that is that I will ask the police, when operating their drone, to keep in contact with the control tower, so that we'll give them guidance when we have aircraft in the area and those type of things. So as long as we keep, and any other body in the public who own drones, I will ask them too to comply by calling the control tower so that they have radio contact, or even via their mobile phones, so they will get guidance from the tower when not to fly, or when we have movements in the area, so that to promote the safe operations. And I will leave you with that.
On behalf of the officers and the staff of the Royal Montserrat Police Service and the Force, we would like to say a very special thanks to the Minister of Communication and Works, Mr. Paul Lewis, for the donation of this unmanned aerial vehicle, better known to all of us as a drone, to the police service to enhance our national security system. Just some months ago, the police sent in a business case and had discussions with the ICT panel as to how could we enhance the national security system on Montserrat. We presented a business case. Our business case included CCTV system and also unmanned aerial vehicles or drone. This is the first step in enhancing our national security infrastructure and also helping us to police Montserrat more safely. With the onset of volcanic crisis, the southern section of the island, or the two-thirds, which is deemed to be unsafe, has been reasonably unpoliced, and this is the area from intelligence that lots of illegal activities are or have been occurring. We had one incident where a yacht came in and persons trashed parts of Plymouth and trashed persons' houses. We had incidents where we did anti-drug surveillance where 139 kilos of cocaine was found in the unsafe zone. Also, we had incidents of over 500 pounds of marijuana was found on the eastern side of the island. Also, that's in the unsafe zone. With this vehicle, we are able now to easily police the unsafe area and remote areas without actually endangering officers with the officers' health and safety and all other health and safety issues taken into consideration. We are happy that we could get this piece of equipment today, and we will put it into good use. Also coming up, we will have some training. We have been contacted by a friend of the police, an FBI technician who is specialized in law enforcement unmanned aerial vehicles, and he will be coming in January to assess us with both training, protocols, putting our policies and procedures in place so that we will operate this vehicle safely and within the rules and regulations of both ASI and also of the law enforcement environment. I will now ask my deputy to make his input, as he was also very integral in choosing the specs and also putting the necessary logistics in place for us to have this unmanned aerial vehicle with us today. Deputy Commissioner, Mr. Thompson.
A lot has been said in terms of the journey that it has taken us to get to this position, and I too would want to echo the sentiments of thank you to the Minister and his team for facilitating us and allowing us to have this piece of equipment, because as I think the importance of what we're doing is to show that we want to be current. We want to make sure that we are keeping with the times. We understand that as time changes, that things are obviously going to change. And so too, in order for us to be effective, in order for us to be efficient, we too have to be, to keep with the times. And it is significant that we are at this stage receiving this piece of equipment so that it can bolster our surveillance, it can bolster our ways and means of offering or of serving Montserrat, and that has to be important. That is significant. Where we are, it is not for the police. It should not be seen as just a piece of equipment that is just resides with the police, but it is for the purpose of serving the entirety of Montserrat and making sure that Montserrat is safe and remains in a safe state. Commissioner would have touched on a number of examples where we would have experienced illegal activities taking place right across our borders, and I'm sure that there might be a number of instances where we are not aware as to some of these activities taking place. I'm happy that the information is going to be out there, that we are making the effort to be current, and that is something that we would want to continue to do in order to keep Montserrat safe. Our objective is keeping Montserrat safe. So again, on behalf of the Commissioner and his team, I too would want to say thanks to the Minister and his team, and also thanks to the manager of the airport for sharing with us the information in terms of how do we operate this piece of equipment in safety, and for also handing over that information to us. Again, thank you very much.
Part of the Royal Montserrat Police Service initiative is to enhance border security and to protect the Montserrat environment. We have been blessed that it has been announced earlier this month that the police will be getting a new vessel, and now we are also enhanced by having an unmanned aerial vehicle. These two assets will enhance both our border security, enhance national security, and enhance public port protection. And as part of the Montserrat ship and port security system, we will be able to provide the services necessary to protect our borders at this point.